Welcome back to One Punch Man Anime Review, special number 9. This is reviewing like 3 chapters in a way, but it's actually 2 which are split up. Yeah. This one I'm covering chapter 99, part 4, and the first 2 parts for chapter 100. I still don't know why in the world that the writer thinks it's a good idea. Chapter starts off with pretty much where we left off last chapter with the Child Emperor face off against this Phoenix demon, and he just basically battles him throughout most of this chapter. By the way, when I get a chance to talk about Chapter 100, oh boy, it's like a repeat of this whole entire thing. I have no idea why in the world that the writer thought this was good. It may be like a recap thing. So we have the Child Emperor basically battling this Phoenix demon, and this lasts for pretty much almost the whole part of the chapter. He gets new battle mode. There's a splash page. Saying he's going to rescue them. And more more monsters. He continues battling the demon, transforms into a giant drill. You think max input, disintegrate all enemy force outside the machine. Smashes a bunch of minions. He launches up in the sky, just so he can launch a big cannon to blow the thing up. The Millennium Emperor Nova, but it pretty much makes this gigantic bomb explosion and blasts like a bunch. Like the beam goes right through and goes right through the top of this whatever this thing is. Apparently, this is underground, either a apartment building. Blasts through like the ground, goes straight into outer space, and that's where the chapter ends. And then move on to chapter 100. Yep, chapter 100 has this adorable little page of the terrible Twister. I think this is supposed to be her sister in Santa's little helper outfits. Yeah, I thought this was really adorable when I saw this thing. Let's get a good look at it. If I get this thing to clear up here, it's close enough. Yeah, I can't possibly because of the glare, but we'll see. Yeah, then we pretty much have almost almost an entire repeat of the last chapter for the first portion of it. I don't know why they did this for, but they did. It's pretty much mostly the same thing, same dialogue. You just cut and paste for the first half of this chapter. Yeah, it's mostly the same with the big battling thing. I don't know if this is by mistake or whatever, that this basically wasn't just a repeat of the last chapter. But mostly this whole chapter, except it actually ends, it's kind of like an alternate view. You get a chance to see something collapsing. The only difference is that the ending is slightly different. We see some collapsing. And then we move on to part 2, which was pretty much released the same day. Where it looks like he's kind of defeated the other guy. He's defeated the Phoenix Demon, saving the kids around his age. And we see the Phoenix Demon basically has gone to a new form, and he says, "Your final tour appears to be broken. Still, for a kid, did pretty well." Yeah, and of course he continues battling him. And of course, showing up this is kind of silly, and we see that a couple of the monsters turn out to be 2 guys who are butt naked for some reason. No idea why. They just are. Talk about other creatures. And it is something really, really weird. And he says, "As I thought, I knew you would probably want to rip up your own costume. Well, you finally got off, hasn't it? Isn't it? Crap, the power of the costume is gone." And he just steps on me and says, "Now, I'm going to strip you completely naked from right here." And then we cut to Saitama! First time seeing him since chapter 93. Yeah, he appears for these few pages. I'm like, man, what the heck? Have you been walking this tunnel the whole time? I'm sure a lot of readers probably been asking, like, have you ever come across the 2 naked guys who just happened to come across them? Yeah, and he doesn't point out like, why are you two naked? Seriously, yeah. There's no reason why these two guys are naked. They're like there's some random demon guys. And we cut back to Emperor where he's completely stripped the guy of his costume. And it looks like he's completely dead. And then we see the kid that the Child Emperor saved. I think there's another human down here. Because let's get moving, and that's where the part ends. But probably the best thing about that chapter is the return of Saitama. I mean, last time appears back in chapter 93. Yeah, it's been a while. Also, as for where the heck the other heroes are, don't have any idea. Excuse me, but it looks like the Child Emperor's battle with this Phoenix Demon finally wrapped up after the past 4 chapters dealing with this thing. And of course, chapter 99 had to be split up into 4 parts for some reason. I don't know why. It's just so bizarre. I don't know what went on with the translation process where they did stuff like this, where they just have it where the first part of chapter 100 just a repeat of the last portion of chapter 99, with the exception of the ending being a little different. Yeah, it was particularly very weird, but it seems like with the next part, it feels like a real chapter 100, but yeah. I don't know why that the writer thinks it's a good idea to split up these chapters into parts and spread them out over the course of a few weeks. It makes no sense at all. But finally, at least, this book did have an chapter 100 release just before the end of the last year. Yeah, I'm gonna give these three portions of it. I'm gonna give them roughly a 9 out of 10. They're good, but the second thing is just a repeat of chapter 99.4. Yeah. Hopefully the next chapter he stops these old points thing. I hope to God yes, because I want a regular chapter from this series, because doing these points is completely ridiculous. Yeah, but so far, aside from Child Emperor, the only other character that's in these few parts is Saitama. That's it. And I'm thinking, maybe next chapter we could follow up what happened to the group who went looking for Saitama at the end of chapter 93. Maybe. Who the heck knows? Okay? So, that's it for this particular review. Stay tuned for my comic corner, what I'm going to do next. After that, I'm going to do manga reviews for these following series. My Hero Academia, 7 Deadly Sins. Black Clover, I may do the anime if the new episode gets uploaded today. And One Piece and Gintama. Yeah, I'm going to do all these reviews. Basically, it's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Probably about 7 videos. Maybe a little bit less because I don't know if Fairy Tail will be uploaded today. I have no idea if it will, okay? But until you see the next review, bye.